Welcome back everyone. Today it's time for more spoilers. They just spoiled a lot of cards, so it's going to be quite a long video because this is going to be my first impressions looking through the cards. But I already saw one card when I downloaded these cards, which looks to be, in my opinion, the best card maybe printed in the set. It's going to be definitely played in Legacy. Definitely, I think. So let's just jump into the cards, shall we? Right up, we have the Spanish. The Colliera de Angrath. I think it's Spanish. It looks like Spanish. Could be Italian or something, but probably Spanish. It's a Feticio. I think that means sorcery. I wouldn't be impressed if it's an instant, but I think it's a sorcery. Then it says Oyagador alvo sacrifica artefacto. Target player sacrifices an artifact. I'm pretty sure that's what it says. The next one is target player sacrifices a creature or target player sacrifices a planeswalker. So it's choose one. You choose one and your opponent sacrifices a creature, an artifact or a planeswalker. This is super duper good if you have not guessed it. It's one of those uncommons we're gonna see again and again in every deck that can play this. This is going to see play because it's so damn versatile. It's gonna kill creatures through hexproof, through indestructibility. Yes, my Lich deck is probably not going to be super good. Now that I've looked at the set and there's so many sacrifice effects, I'm sorry to say the Lich might not be that strong in this set. Also, dealing with planeswalkers is amazing, so it's just, yeah, 9 out of 10, I would say. This card, for me, how good it is. Then we jump into Arlina's Wolf. That's transition, if I ever saw one. 2 colors and 1 green. Arlina's Wolf can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Yeah, this is only limited playable, if you're thinking about how good is this card. Well, it's only for limited. Arlinn, Voice of the Pack. 4 colorless and 2 green. Each creature you control that's a wolf or a werewolf enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. It's essentially no wolves or werewolves in this set, so this is only interacts with itself. Create a 2/2 green wolf creature token. So this will become a 3/3 green wolf creature token. So pay 6 mana to get a 3/3. That's so horrible. It's hard to express how horrible this is. Yeah, we need a set with only wolves and werewolves for this to ever work. Otherwise, this will be like EDH or something. I'm not even gonna spend time on this card. That's how disappointed I am in Arlinn, Voice of the Pack. Next card. It's a card I'm not disappointed in, because I love this card. It's a reprint, but it's so damn good. It's so damn good. In the wrong type of decks, unfortunately. It's so damn good in the control decks, which runs a lot of instants and sorceries. Ogre Bolas. 1 colorless, 1 blue. When it enters the battlefield, you look at the top 3 cards, you reveal an instant or sorcery card, and you put it into your hand. So, the reason that this is amazing is that it's a 2-drop. It's a 1/3, which is very, very good to block most things in the current metagame. So it's a good blocker. So you're going to get a blocker for free and then pick the best card that you need. So it's just super duper good. Of course, you can't run many creatures with this guy. This is for a deck which runs almost no creatures. So that you're always gonna hit on that instant sorcery, because it's horrible if you miss with your Ogre. It's not where you want to be. Few creatures, lots of instant and sorceries. Those decks that you hate to be up against, this is going to be great in. Now they're at least run creatures, so there's something. Burning Prophet. 1 colorless, 1 red. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Burning Prophet gets +1/+0 until end of turn, then scry 1. I'm happy that it costs 2. That much I should say. Usually these cards cost 3 when they come out from Wizards. So, in a gimmicky deck built around it, you could play with this card. Otherwise, and also you get the scry though. Also you get the scry. Oh, it's not as horrible as it looks. Because you can actually play a couple of spells with this guy, probably buff her up to a 4/3 or something. Get to scry 4 cards, which is actually quite good. It's not horrible, it's just... she's decent. It's decent. She's actually, the more I look at this card, it's actually a decent card. Because it costs 2, that's the reason. That's the entire reason. At the 2-drop slot, having a 1/3 body is actually good. And the ability is relevant. Yeah, decent. Absolutely. Cruel Celebrant. 1 white, 1 black. Whenever Cruel Celebrant or another creature or planeswalker you control dies. Wow, everything there. Each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So it's another Aristocrat. The body is a little bit horrible, a 1-2. So it won't do much in itself. I guess this should be played with Footlight Fiends and Tibalts. Probably in black. You want this with what's her face? Judith also. You want Judith, Cruel Celebrant, Footlight Fiend, Tibalt. Yeah, it's a Mardu Aristocrats deck. So far, those decks have not impressed me in the slightest in how competitive they are. It just seems like they're worse in every single way than the like mono blues and mono reds, but I don't know. Maybe if they print even more cards, they could get to a state where they're good. So this is a step in the right direction for Mardu, because now they're at least getting somewhere. They still don't have all the cards, I don't feel like, but maybe if they print some more, they could become good. Next card. Crush Descent. 3 colorless, 1 blue. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 2, Amass 2. So the counter target spell unless its controller pays 2 for 4 is horrible, of course. Amass 2 makes it so that I think this is just made for limited though. Even though you get a 2-2, so yeah, it's kind of a Mystic Snake, but a Mystic Snake is so much better. It can counter, you know, in any scenario, even if they can pay 2, so yeah, this is just something you maybe draft in limited, I think. It's not something Okay, this guy. Davriel Rogue, Shadow Mage, 2 colorless, 1 black. I love black planeswalkers. This guy looks like he's ripped out of Star Wars. And just Star Wars guy. Come here. I love the artwork on this guy. I love the artwork on this guy. So much. So incredibly much. Just create a deck around him, a fully foiled Davriel deck. And he's even uncommon, so it's probably not. I'm probably going to be super expensive in foil though. Anywho, at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, if that player has 1 or fewer cards in his hand, Davriel Rogue Shadow Mage deals 2 damage to them. Target player discards a card. It's very good that it says target player discards a card, because this means that before, black has not have any good sources of discard. It's actually a good source of discard. So if we see some really good creatures that we can return from the graveyard, for instance, this could be an enabler for a graveyard deck. Fits very well into that archetype. First you discard something from your opponent, then you discard something from yourself, then you reanimate something. If you don't have anything to discard from your own hand, you just discard from your opponent again and again and again. I think that's where he fits in. You also get 3 discards if he... I mean, he's a control slayer, of course. He's super good against Esper control, for instance. He just rips their entire hand apart and they can't do anything, because they don't have aggressive creatures that can attack into this. Maybe they have Ogre Bolas now, so maybe they have something to attack into Davriel, but probably not. So you gotta get 3 discards off. It's definitely gonna see play in sideboards against Esper control, because it's very good against... But we have so many good cards against Esper control. There's Unmoored Ego and just win against. I mean, if you can protect him, it's also good. You have a lot of low drops. This guy's a tricky pickle. This is what I was put him on. The effect that he has is decent when they have 1 or fewer cards in hand. That's kind of the owl thing. It was an owl which dealt damage to an artifact that dealt damage to everyone based on how few cards they had in hand. Or maybe how many cards they had. There's been effects like this before, and they can be strong. They absolutely can be strong, and it makes it so that it can actually build a deck around this card, so that I very much do like. So either a discard theme, I see this working in, or a reanimator deck. And reanimator may be more unlikely, I would say, because well, there's no really good targets to reanimate. So next card, jumping into it. Target player discards 2 cards and you lose. And loses 2. You lose 2 life. Well, that would be horrible. Yeah, it's still horrible. It's just limited play. It's 4 mana. We have 3 mana effects that does this just better. There's one which makes them lose 2 life and you gain 2 life. So this is just limited. Here is a good card. I like Negate. I like Dovin's Veto. Just amazing. This spell can't be counter target non-creature spell. Yeah, so those fairies that you were talking about, well, they're not gonna happen. Ever. This goes straight into my Gate deck, if you haven't already guessed. It's super good. You can just hold up a Negate against the control decks until the point where they decide to cast their Teferi. And then they can do nothing about this. And they can never win with Teferi anymore. That I do like. It's super amazing. Definitely gonna see play outside of standard also. So it's a very, very, very good card. It's not the best card though. I think there's one even better card. Believe it or not. This is a 10 out of 10, by the way. This is like power level legacy. This is this card. But there's one stronger card. There's one stronger card that they have revealed. Moving on. Okay, I can't read Chinese. This is not Japanese, by the way. This is Chinese. But I'm pretty sure that this buffs a creature +3/+3. I think this is Giant Growth. Pretty sure this is Giant Growth. Very much what it looks like. And that's a solid card. Probably won't see play. Because it's so inflexible, but... I mean, I'm glad that they printed it. Maybe some Timmies are very happy now. Next card, Gideon's Triumph. 1 colorless, 1 white. Target opponent sacrifices a creature that attacked or blocked this turn. If you control a Gideon Planeswalker, that player sacrifices 2 of those creatures instead. Okay, so they sacrifice 1 if they attack. So as soon as they've declared the attackers, you can just cast Gideon's Triumph. So you get this off pretty much immediately. It's a little bit bad that you have to wait until their turn and go into their attackers, where they have a chance to answer this with a counterspell or something, but... yeah, we have better removal unless you have Gideon Planeswalker. This will only be played if you have Gideon Planeswalker, else you just have better removal. And it will probably see play with the white Gideon we have, because the white Gideon is so darn good, the 3-mana Gideon. That's how we play this card. No other deck probably wants this. Okay. It's my verdict on this card. Honor the God Pharaoh. 2 colors, 1 red. As an additional cost, to cast this spell, discard a card, draw 2 cards, amass 1. Draw 2 cards. Let me oh, this is just... it's just horrible. This is just horrible. Wow. Well, it's another discard outlet, so that's something. But we have a red card which does this with 2 mana. And the amass 1, I mean... I think the army deck... there is going to be an army deck, of course. But there's been 2 really good army cards spoiled so far that we've seen. The 2-mana enchantment and the board clear. I don't think that this will fit into that deck at all. It's... just seems horrible. Next card. Invade the city. Oh, we've already been through this card. Let's just jump into the next one. I unfortunately can't read this. I'm going to come back and probably at the end I'm going to find the translation for this guy. Kaya, Bane of the Dead. 3 colorless. Then the white-black manas times 3 there. Your opponents and permanents your opponent control with hexproof can be the target of spells and abilities you control as though they didn't have hexproof. Wow, this will be confusing to newer players. Well, now you can't be targeted by spells and abilities. Then it's hexproof, so you can't be targeted. And then it's Kaya, so you can't be targeted by a thing. It's like their minds will be blown. I'm not blown away by this Planeswalker. -3, exile target creature. It's a shittier Profane Procession. Profane Procession was borderline playable. This is not playable at all. This is 6 mana. It's way too late to get these effects. No. No. No, 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 no. Unless they print a hexproof set or something. This is never gonna see play. It's way too expensive. And Profane Procession is just better because you get their creatures back even. So no. Kaya's ghost form though, 1 black, enchant creature or planeswalker you control. It's important to note, we've seen these effects before, but this is on a planeswalker. When enchanted permanent dies or is put into exile, return that card to the battlefield under your control. Wow. It's actually good, because it prevents these cards to die to exile effects. This actually, I mean, I think this is a good card, for what it's worth. I mean, if you put this on your Rekindling Phoenix, it will just come back. Like, some cards become so horrible to deal with in Kaya's ghost form. Because Lava Coil can't be played as an instant. That's the usual way you get rid of it. Or, I mean, Kaya's... they have the Kaya's if they hold up 4 mana, but you're probably not gonna play your Rekindling Phoenixes. Just wait until you have 5 mana and play Kaya's ghost form on it. It's so horrible to deal with. Wow! And you can put it on Planeswalkers also. And also protect against... Yeah, this is strong, honestly. I know a lot of people don't like auras, but I've experimented a lot with auras, and they can work from time to time. This is an aura, typical aura that could work, because it's only 1 black, because you can play this and the thing that you want to put it on the same turn. Some planeswalkers even. Super horrible to deal with when you put this on them. Yeah, I think this is a sleeper. This is a card which no one will see coming. And then some people are gonna start experimenting with this card like 2 weeks into the meta or something, and then everyone is gonna be blown away by how good this card works, I think. Yeah, I think this, honestly, a strong card. Sleeper card. Gonna see more of this, I think. Next card. Kiora, Behemoth Beckoner. 2 colorless. Then a blue or a green. Wow, that was hard to say. Whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. So this is the exact same card as the enchantment, which does the same thing. But this card also has untap target permanent. It comes into play with 7 loyalty. Wow, this is impossible to deal with. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is... I mean... The only thing which makes this a little bit not super good is that... it's not that many creatures that are even gonna trigger this. That's a problem with this card. You only want to run creatures with power 4 in your deck? I mean... For the most part, creatures don't stick around more than 1, maybe 2 turns. I think it's still good, because you could build a Timmy deck and include like 1 Kiora Behemoth Beckoner, because you're probably not gonna run more than 1. Like, you can't play more of this. You can't play out another, and it's probably never gonna get killed anyways, because it doesn't have much of an effect. That has a little bit of an effect, but... Yeah, I think it was played in mono green as a one-of. My verdict on this card. I ranted a lot, but in summary, in mono green, it will be played off as a one-of. Probably. Next card. Kiora's Dam Breaker. When Kiora's Dam Breaker enters the battlefield, Proliferate. 6 mana. Yep, just limited. We can just move on here. Here! Ladies and gentlemen, is, in my opinion, the strongest card probably in the set. I don't think they're gonna print a stronger card than this. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. This is Diabolic Edict. At instant speed. Yes, instant speed. Wow. If you control a Liliana Planeswalker, each opponent also discards a card. Yeah. I don't know if you heard about a little card called Liliana Vess. It's pretty good. Pretty good in Legacy. I haven't played Legacy in like 2 years or something, but it's pretty good last time I was there. And with this, why not? You know, why not have Liliana's Triumph in there? Yep, this will go straight into Black Legacy decks. It will definitely see play in Standard. We don't have that good Lilianas. We have the 6 mana Liliana. That's something, I guess, but it's still strong enough. I mean, it's an instant your opponent sacrifices a creature. It's really, 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 really good. Really good. It's 10 out of 10. It's Legacy playable. On to the next card here, I think. Oh, here's the nickel Bolas again. I just wanted to confirm that all the things that I tried to read last time was actually correct. And it is correct. It is absolutely bonkers. It's 1 blue, 3 black, and 1 red. And now we get the full, complete artwork here. It has all the loyalty abilities of all Planeswalkers. This is just better than Angrath in every possible way, by the way. The +1 is you draw a card. Each opponent's access card from their hand or a permanent they control. It's just so strong, it's insane. I don't know how they could even print that as a plus ability, but sure. Destroy target creature or Planeswalker has the -3. It's also really good. Of course, that is worse than our boy Teferi. The -8 is better because they just lose the game straight out, so no need to go through all their permanents and have them concede. I also like that it just ends the game, that it's not a drawn-out Teferi battle. This guy is just, you lose the game, and that's it. There's no messing around with Nicol Bolas, he just wins the game. Yeah, this is amazing. This will 100% see play, it will 100% be super expensive to buy, because it will be see play. All Grixis control lists will run this, all of them. There will be no Grixis control lists without Nicol Bolas Dragon God. That's just for sure. That's just amazing. Just amazing. I'm still in awe of this card. I know I've already spoiled this card once, but I just wanted to confirm that everything just said it the way I thought it said it, and it did. Next card. Relentless Advance. 3 colorless, 1 blue, Amass 3. We'll never see play because we have better Amass cards already, so yeah. Rising Populas. 2 colorless, 1 white. Whenever another creature or Planeswalker you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Rising Populas. No. We'll never see play. It's another limit card. Samut Sprint. 1 red. Target creature gets +2/+1 and gains haste until end of turn. Scry 1. Actually, interesting that it gives him haste. This may see play as a one-off in some kind of deck, because giving something haste is very good for 1 mana. We've already seen the what's it called? Card which has Jumpstart see play, and that doesn't give +2/+1 to something, and doesn't give the scry, so might see play as a one-off. Probably not. Probably just limited, but yeah. It could see play just because it gives haste. Next card. Oh, creatures you control have haste. Talking about haste. Samut, Tyrant Smasher. 2 colorless. Then the green on red, and then another green on red. Okay, so that's very good to give everything haste. We already have that, you know. We have Riot Enchantment. And then -1. Target creature gets +2/+1 and gains haste at the end of turn. Okay, so there's double haste. Super fast. It says should have mega haste. It's in before you can even realize. Okay, and then scry 1. Wow, there's a lot of scry. So much scrying. So much scrying. Games are gonna take so long on Arena when everyone's scrying all the time. And have they can never decide if they want to keep the card or not. It's gonna be horrible. Well, well, why? Yeah, I'm not gonna go into that rant. I think the scry was unnecessary there. For reasons. For reasons, yes. But the something +2/+1 and haste. No, I don't see this card working in any way. There's already better cards. I mean, we already have Domri, and we already have the enchantment, which gives Riot, which just seems better in every way. I don't see this guy being good in any possible way. This is a 0 out of 10 Planeswalker for me, honestly. Next card, Teferi's Time Twist. 1 colorless, 1 blue. Exile target permanent you control. Return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. If it enters the battlefield as a creature, it enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. So this is made for Simic, of course. There's some cards which have what's called Adapt. I don't think it's good enough for Adapt, unless the Adapt deck start playing Planeswalkers, of course, then it could be a trick to save your Planeswalkers. So in Simic decks with Planeswalkers, is how I could see this work, but it's very unlikely to see play, let's say. Teos Light Shield. 2 colors, 1 white. When Teos Light Shield enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It's a 0/3. Yes. It's just limited. Just another limited card. Moving on. Teo Shield Mage. 2 colors, 1 white. You have Hexproof. That's very good. So far we've always had to pay 4 for that ability. So it's very good to have it for 3. -2, create a 0/3 white wall creature token with Defender. That's very horrible. It's very, very horrible. No. I want this card to be good, but I can't see it. It's another guy who looks like a Jedi, by the way. So much Star Wars influence. Disney? Are they buying? Are they buying Hasbro? Are they buying Wizards? I don't know. No, it could be used in a sideboard. But other than that... It's not, the thing is, it's not even good against mono red, which it's supposed to be good against, because hexproof, they can't bolt your face. Because the 0/3 wall creatures are not strong enough to defend against their biggest creature, which is a 3/3 first striker. So if there would have been a 0/4 white wall creature token, that would have been decent. As it stands, no, doesn't work against the deck that it should work against even. So I don't know what your sideboard is against. Maybe if there's a discard deck. If there's a discard deck, then sure, this might see play. Otherwise, I'm probably just in sideboard. Next card, moving on here. The Wanderer. 3 colorless, 1 white. Prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to you and other permanents you control. So it's another anti-red card. Wow! So much hate for the red ones, huh? And a -2. Exile target creature with power 4 or greater. These are 2 weird things to have together. An anti-red and an anti-green on the same card. Seems like a sideboard walker to me. If you're up against a Timmy deck, which runs a lot of big creatures, and just use this as a double removal. But yeah, it's a weird planeswalker. Very weird. I would like this because it's a wanderer and has no planeswalker type, so it's so mysterious. So I would have loved to see this be a little bit better than this. Seems like another possible sideboard card. Next one. Tibalt's Rager. When Tibalt's Rager dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. So it's a Footlight Fiend. And you can pay 1 colorless and 1 red. And it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Well, you can buff this up to deal a lot of damage. And it doesn't die to those things which deals 1 damage to it. So that's good. Thing is, red decks usually don't want to waste their mana on stuff like this. But on the other hand, when they get to use mana like this, it's decent. It might see play, but probably not, I would guess. If there's like a devil deck or something, like all devils get buffed or something, then this might see play. Actually, it's so borderline playable, but still not really there, I feel like. Next card, Vivian, Champion of the Wilds. You may cast creature spells as though they had flash. That's pretty neat, actually. +1 until your next turn, up to 1 target creature gains vigilance and reach. That's very, very bad. Okay, -2. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, exile 1 face down, put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. For as long as it remains exiled, you may look at that card and you may cast it if it's a creature card. In any order. Oh, I hope you don't need to sort the cards in Arena. That's also gonna take a lot of time. Well, anywho's. Okay, so you look at the top 3 cards and if it's a creature. So it's like a lesser... The 5 mana Vivian does the same thing but looks at 5 cards or 4 cards. And you can find a creature and put it into your hand. Here it's just in exile instead. So in a creature have a deck, this could work, but and you can do it twice, yeah, so... It's a double search. It's a double search, which gives your creatures flash. Yeah, probably another one-off in a green deck. It's irritating to deal with. Flash is very good. And you get value immediately from it. The problem is it doesn't defend itself in any way. Shape or form. Doesn't have an immediate impact on the board. It can definitely be, you know, be played as a one-of, like... Get -2 and just hope that it survives. Yeah. Definitely playable as a one-of, I would say, on this card. Next card, Vivian's Arkbow. Vivian is back. This I've already read, and I think this is a really good card, actually. 1 colorless, 1 green. X, and discard a card. Look at the top X cards of your library. You may put a creature card with converted mana cost X or less. From among them, put that card on the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. It's good. It's really, really good. This is like an Azor's Gateway kind of effect, where you can find the right cards by paying X, but you can look at X cards and you put it on the battlefield. The important part is that you put it on the battlefield, so the mana is not wasted. So if you have a lot of small creatures, like up to 3 or 4 mana maybe, maximum, you can just use this to always have something. And you can do this at the end of your opponent's turn. That's very, very important, so it's essential, like they have flash. It's a legendary artifact, and you never want, even if it wasn't legendary, you would never want to play more than have more than one of them anyways, because you can't pay the mana cost. So it's definitely going to be a one-of. There's going to be a lot of interesting stuff now in the green decks. I feel like a lot of interesting one-offs that's going to go in there. And this could even work in a Sultai deck. This could work in most decks, honestly. Most decks that can afford 1 green and have a lot of small creatures will play this, I think, because it's that good. It's very good. It's like an 8 out of 10, I would say. 8 or 9 out of 10. Very, very, very good. But it's also just a one-of. It's like a Search for Ascanta. You can play 1, maybe 2 of if you're really interested in drawing it. But yeah, like a green Ascanta or something. Vivian's Grizzly. 2 colors, 1 green. For a Bear Spirit. 2/3. Very good. 3 colors, 1 green. Look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature card or planeswalker, you may reveal that card, put it into your hand. If you don't, put that card into your hand and put it on the bottom of your library. Yeah, that's just horrible. 4 mana to maybe get a card, but probably not, because probably a land on top. No, that's just horrible. Wanderer's Strike. 4 colors, 1 white. Exile target creature, then proliferate. No. Even though it has proliferate, it's maybe in some EDH deck or something. No, it's horrible. It's just horrible. 5 mana removal. I mean, we have a 4 mana removal, Braskas, but that can deal with planeswalkers. This can't deal with planeswalkers. Even though it has proliferate, no. Dovin's Veto we've already seen, and it's amazing. We're gonna go on to the next card. Invasor da Safraan. Creatura. This might be Italian. I can't read this card. We're gonna go on to the next card. I'm sorry, there's a couple of cards I can't read there. Probably not so good. It's common. That's the worst. I know. I'm sorry. Okay. Capita do Chaos. This card, I actually looked up what it said. This card says that all your creatures have what's called Menace, and then you can get the Amass for 2 at -2. Menace is not super strong, in my opinion. It's a nice bonus on some creatures. If they have an ability that really interacts well with Menace, it can be good. Amass 2 on a stick, it's probably gonna be too slow, even for the Amass deck, I think. Probably gonna be too slow. We have an enchantment which does Amass 1 for 2 mana and does it every turn, you know, forever. I don't see that this will be good enough, but it's in the right colors, at least, so... No, I don't see this being good enough. Both effects are not super strong. I mean, you can compare this to something like History of Benalia, for instance. I don't know, which creates 2/2s which then buffs to 4/3s. It just seems horrible to compare to that. And it costs 4 mana, which is like a world of difference. So, no, I don't see this. Okay, and we're back to the first card. Yes! This is one of the strongest cards. I think there's, in my opinion, there's 3 cards which stand out among all other cards. One is this, Cholera the Angrath, which can deal with an artifact, creature, or planeswalker. One is the Liliana card, which makes your opponent sacrifice a creature or discard a card if you have Liliana. That's mostly relevant for Legacy, I think. And the third card, it's also that's an instant. That's amazing. Makes it, in my opinion, the best card in the set. And the third card is Dovin's Veto, which is good enough to definitely see Legacy play, I think. And it's definitely going to see Standard play as well. It's an amazing card. Yeah, that's all the cards for now. See you in the next video. Thank you for watching.